I said beat down, not kill. Let me make that really clear. Not on fire, or exploded, or make a nose, whatever type of grisly death you can dream up.
Welcome back to Old School LPs, playing Dragon Age Origins once again. Let's start off reading some of our Codex entries. The Cardinal Rules of Magic. You must not be under the misimpression that magic is all-powerful. There are limits, and not even the greatest mages may overcome them. No one, for instance, has found any means of traveling, either over great distances or small ones, beyond putting one foot in front of the other. The immutable nature of the physical world prevents this. So no, you may not simply pop over to Minrathous to borrow a cup of sugar, nor may you magic the essay you forgot in the apprentice dormitory to your desk. You will simply have to be prepared. Similarly, even when you send your mind into the Fade, your body remains behind. Only once has this barrier been overcome, and reputedly, the spell required 2/3 of the lyrium in the Tevinter Imperium, as well as the lifeblood of several hundred slaves. The results were utterly disastrous. Finally, life is finite. A truly great healer may bring someone back from the very precipice of death, when breath and heartbeat have ceased but the spirit still clings to life. But once the spirit has fled the body, it cannot be recalled. That is no failing of your skills or power. It is simply reality. From the lectures of First Enchanter Wenceslas. The 4 Schools of Magic. Creation. Opposition in all things. For earth, sky. For winter, summer. For darkness, light. By my will alone is balance sundered, and the world given new light. Threnodies, chapter 5, verse 5. The School of Creation, sometimes called the School of Nature, is the second of the schools of matter, the balancing force and complement of entropy. Creation magic manipulates natural forces, transforming what exists and bringing new things into being. Creation requires considerable finesse, more than any other school, and is therefore rarely mastered. Those mages who have made a serious study of creation are the highest in demand, useful in times of peace as well as war. From the 4 Schools, a treatise by First Enchanter Josephus. The 4 Schools of Magic. Entropy. To you, my second-born, I grant this gift. In your heart shall burn an unquenchable flame, all-consuming and never satisfied. Threnodies, chapter 5, verse 7. The second of the 2 schools of matter, entropy, is the opposition force of creation. For this reason, it is often called the school of negation. Nothing lives without death. Time inevitably brings to an end all things in the material world. And yet, in this ending is the seed of a beginning. A river may flood its banks, causing havoc, but bring new life to its floodplain. The fire that burns a forest ushers in new growth. And so it is with entropic magic that we manipulate the forces of erosion, decay, and destruction to create anew. From the 4 Schools, a treatise by First Enchanter Josephus. The 4 Schools of Magic. Primal. Those who oppose thee shall know the wrath of heaven. Field and forest shall burn. The seas shall rise and devour them. The wind shall tear their nations from the face of the earth. Lightning shall rain down from the sky. They shall cry out to their false gods and find silence. Andraste, chapter 7, verse 19. Sometimes called the School of Power, the primal school is the second of the schools of energy, balanced by spirit, and concerns the most visible and tangible forces of nature itself. This is the magic of war, fire, ice, and light, devastation. This is what the vast majority imagines when they hear the word magic. From the 4 Schools, a treatise by First Enchanter Josephus. I think we shall end with the 4 Schools of Magic. Spirit. And the voice of the Maker shook the Fade, saying, "In my image I have wrought my firstborn. You have been given dominion over all that exists. By your will all things are done, yet you do nothing. The realm I have given you is formless, ever-changing." Trinities, chapter 5, verse 4. The first of the two schools of energy, spirit, is opposed by the primal school. It is the school of mystery, the ephemeral school. This is the study of the invisible energies which surround us at all times, yet are outside of nature. It is from the Fade itself that this magic draws its power. Students of this school cover everything from direct manipulation of mana and spell energies to the studying and summoning of spirits themselves. By its nature an esoteric school, as most others know virtually nothing about the Fade, studies of spirit magic are often misunderstood by the general populace, or even confused for blood magic, an unfortunate fate for a most useful branch of study. From the Four Schools, a treatise by First Enchanter Josephus. All right, I believe we wanted to start by talking to Zevran.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What does it take to become an assassin?
Well, the crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training, the sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance. Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is a desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field.
It doesn't take any special skill?
I don't know about that. It's simply a slightly different skill set from your average killer as I see it. An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible. Debilitate your foe, either by poison or by crippling their limbs, makes any follow-up combat you need to engage in that much simpler.
You always use poison then?
I do. It is not something inherent in an assassin's skills, however, merely something complementary. Of course, the crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery. So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we?
Sure, Zeb.
Here I am.
Can you teach others to be an assassin?
Oh, I certainly could, but I won't. I swore to the crows that the things they taught me were to remain a secret. And while, yes, they are already angry at me, I'd rather not push things, you see.
Very well. I'll respect your word.
If you are truly insistent, well, let me think about it. The crows are already angry at me, yes? Who knows?
All right, that's one of our specializations. I believe I have them all unlocked anyways, but just to hear all the dialogue options.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Why did you want to leave the crows, exactly?
Well, now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin, after all, is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So, if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it?
But what would you rather do?
Now that you mention it, I am not entirely certain. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training, you die.
And that system works?
Of course. You compete against your fellow assassins, and those who survive are rightfully proud of it. In Antiva, being a crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. Gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining.
You know, I think I understand.
As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go.
Won't the crows eventually find you?
Eventually can be a very, very long time if one plays one's cards right. Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
Do you actually enjoy being an assassin?
And why not? There are many things to enjoy about being a crow in Antiva. You are respected, you are feared, the authorities go out of their way to overlook your trespasses, even the rewards are nothing to turn your nose up at. As for the killing part, well, some people simply need assassinating. Or do you disagree?
You've never killed an innocent.
Now there's an interesting word, innocent. How many men do you know who can claim to be truly innocent? But if you're talking generalities, such as children and relatives and bystanders and such, never on purpose. But it happens. It's unfortunate, but death comes to us all. If not me, then some wasting disease, or a fall down the stairs, or at the hands of a darkspawn. It's all relative in the end.
That sounds like an excuse.
Death happens, as we like to say, and when I get paid for it, death happens more often. As far as enjoying the act of killing itself, why not? There is a certain artistry to the deed, the pleasure of sinking your blade into their flesh and knowing that their life is in your hands.
I am also a rogue, and do a lot of killing. So I suppose the more honest answer would be, I know what you mean.
There are many things I did not enjoy about being a crow, of course. Having no choice, being treated as an expendable commodity, the rules, oh, so many rules. But simply being an assassin, I like it just fine. I will continue to do it if I can, even if I am not a crow. Honestly, could you picture me doing something else?
Why not? You can do whatever you like.
Whereas I am content merely doing what I happen to be good at. It's a talent that not many come by, honestly. I don't see why I need not pursue it. Of course, all these thoughts are moot. Chances are still good that you and I will perish, eaten by darkspawn or slain by the crows at some point. Very gruesomely, I imagine. But it is pleasant enough to chat about. Come, let's move on while our boots still have some wear in them.
Tell me a little about Antiva.
Oh, you wish to know about Antiva, do you? The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there. It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom. Or so the saying goes.
You don't like Ferelden?
It is fine enough with its dogs and its mud. The people are spirited, even if they can't tell the difference between an assassin and a mere killer. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city. Do you come from someplace comparable?
I was born in High Ever, in the north.
Oh, I have never seen that place. I am sure it has its charms, and its dogs. You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels, I miss the leather the most.
Is that some kind of euphemism?
It may as well be, but not this once, no. I mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates. I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home more than anything else.
You sound like you've been away from home forever.
Oh, not so long, I know. It is my first time away from Antiva, however, and the thought of never returning makes me think of it constantly. Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in a store window. Finest Antivan leather. Perfect craftsmanship. But I was a fool to leave them. I thought, Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no?
Your home is still there, Zevran.
True, and it's a comforting thought. One simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a beautiful Grey Warden, a woman who then spares my life? I could not.
Now you're flattering me.
I say you are beautiful because it is true. Should I not?
Don't bother. I'm on to you.
I'm not sure that that's the route I would take, were I to continue old habits, but as you wish. Now, if it is all the same to you, I would prefer not to speak more of Antiva. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal.
That is all he wants to say for the moment, but I believe there are some gifts I can give him.
I shall treasure it. Thank you.
Not just the one, I guess. Okay. Now, there is a companion from the DLC that I believe I would like to get. Alright, I believe to start this one, we head to Sulcher's Pass.
Yes.
Yes.
I think I'll start taking Morrigan again for a little bit.
Indeed.
Gather up our various herbs. It looks like I need to level up Morrigan because she had been in my party for a while. Alright, let's talk to the man.
You'll have to forgive me if I seem a bit nervous. Not many people travelling in this part of Ferelden. Of course, that's part of my problem, isn't it? Mule got spooked by a wisp and ran off into the woods. Now what do I do?
Part of your problem?
Well, yes. Oh, it's been quite the month. Allow me to introduce myself. Felix de Grosbois, merchant and entrepreneur at your service.
A merchant? Out here?
I don't normally take this route, but with the war, I was hoping for a bit of luck and good weather in the mountains. Sadly, I've had neither. Ugh, this trip has been one miserable disaster after another. I don't suppose you'd consider helping a fellow out?
Help a fellow out how?
Of all the other things that went wrong, the worst is this artifact I brought in Jada. It's a control rod, I'm told, for a golem. No point in me keeping it, however, as I'll never get to use it. But, maybe you could?
What's the catch?
The catch? Yeah, I suppose it is a catch, isn't it? The catch is that the golem didn't come with the rod. It's supposed to be down in a village down south, waiting to be activated. Even if I could get down there, which I can't, I understand the place has been overrun by darkspawn. That's not such an issue for adventurous types like yourself, surely? Or I'm hoping that's so, at least.
How much do you want for it?
Nothing. I just don't want to have to lug around something that might be taken for a gemstone by some bandit. To be honest, I don't even know if it'll be useful to you. I paid too much to simply throw it away.
Yes, I think I could use it.
Just as well. As I mentioned before, you'll find the golem down south, in a town called Honnleath. I'll mark it here on your map. Just hold up the rod and say Dulaf Gar. That will wake the golem up, so I'm told. I hope it works.
If not, I'll be back.
Alright, well, then I really hope it works. Best of luck to you then. Now, I guess it's up to me to find that mule myself.
Okay. On to Honnleath, then. And of course we get interrupted. Oh, there's a trickster whim? And he's surrounded by bloody corpses. That's concerning.
Oh,
Alistair needs to heal. There you go.
Saving the day.
Next time.
Man, Alistair nearly bit it. I need to get him in better armor as soon as possible. Alright, Honnleath. Cheery. And there's the Darkspawn right on cue.
Too easy. Oh, you're so much better than that.
This really gets the blood pumping. Let's make this quick.
First batch. We need a key for the chest. Okay. Additional Darkspawn. Oh, and of course there's a fence there. I'm an idiot. Alistair needs another poultice.
Right then.
Get back to looting.
Yes.
There's a key. Does that open the chest, perhaps? A basket of birdseed. Let's see about this chest.
Yes.
There it is. Olaf's prized cheese knife. Could be good for me or Zev. We'll look at it later.
What we are looking at is a golem. It would appear it is defunct, though there may be a way to revive it yet.
Okay. Embedded with crystals. I suppose I say the activation word. Du left gar. Ha. Well, that didn't work too well. Let's see what's in there.
All right.
A strange crystal cluster. Okay. More darkspawn, of course.
Let's do this quickly, shall we? Take that! Oh, you want to die? Another battle, I see. Got you then! Yes.
See what else we can get out of here. Wilhelm's special brew? Oh, I bet that's a thing. Yes, it's a gift. Because there's a companion we'll get later who definitely loves his booze. That Genlock emissary, I think. There we go. Alistair needs to heal. We're gonna hear that a lot. And there goes the emissary. An old letter. Let's see. Here we go, a decades-old letter. Madam, I can assure you that the Circle of Magi is not a sacrilegious institution and that, indeed, we operate under the supervision of the Chantry. It would make our investigation of your husband's death much easier if you would simply cooperate with us. I am disappointed to hear that you sold the Golem's activation rod. I understand both it and your husband were of invaluable aid to King Merrick during the war against Orlais. Without the rod, we cannot discern whether Wilhelm's golem was responsible for his murder. The golem will simply have to remain where it is unless the villagers can find a means to destroy it. Our condolences to you and your son for your loss. I imagine it is of little consolation to you, but your husband is much admired here and will be missed. Make her keep you. First Enchanter Arlen. Hey. Another crystal. And I suppose we speak to the villagers.
Yes.
By the Maker, we're saved!
You weren't sent by the band, were you? To save us?
I wasn't sent by anyone.
So we could have just starved down here? The band gave up on us? I suppose I should be grateful that someone came at all, then. Thank you. But if you weren't sent by someone, why are you here? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm looking for whoever owned that statue outside.
The statue outside? Why would... Oh, I think I see. You bought the control rod, didn't you? You came here looking for Shayle. That damnable Golem brought us nothing but trouble. My mother sold the rod years ago after it killed my father, and good riddance!
Is it dead? It's just standing out there.
It's deactivated, I think. I don't really know. It's been like that ever since the day my father died. My father's name was Wilhelm, mage to the Arls of Redcliffe and a hero in the war against Orlais, and what did he get? One day, my mother found him outside the tower, with so many broken bones she could barely recognize him, and Shayle standing over him just like it is now. My father deserved better than that. But if you really want to wake Shayle up, well, it's yours now.
Except the rod doesn't work. Nothing happens.
My mother might have passed along the wrong command phrase when she sold the rod. She said she never wanted to see Shayle active again. Look, I'll tell you the command phrase, but I'll need your help first. I know you already saved my life, and I'm grateful, but my daughter is inside the laboratory. She was afraid and ran too far in before I could stop her. I don't know how she made it past my father's defenses. One of the men tried to go after her. He was killed, but you could find her, couldn't you?
What killed this man who went after her?
There are defenses my father put down here to keep strangers out. I knew about the barrier, I had the key for that, but the rest of it... Well, we never came down here. Ever.
I'll see if I can find her.
You will? Thank the Maker! My father's laboratory is just past the next area, I think. She has to be there.
All right. Nothing's ever simple. I was waiting for that. Alistair's going down pretty quick. That big thing must, the dust wraith must be pretty nasty.
This really gets the blood pumping.
That won't stop me.
Get around the back.
I think we work well together.
Okay.
Yes.
Journal of Enchanter Wilhelm. Wonder if that's anything we need. I didn't have it under notes or quest related, so I'm gonna leave it for now.
Going.
More crystals? Another one of those barriers.
What do you mean you've never climbed a tree? Don't cats like to be in trees? Oh look, someone's come to play. You have come to play, haven't you? We're playing a guessing game. It's better with more people.
Oh good, you're safe. Your father was worried.
Father? Oh, you can tell him I'm fine. Maybe he'll come and stay with us, too. Anyway, you should go if you're not going to play. Kitty finds you distracting.
The cat finds me distracting.
Kitty's clever. She says you want to take me back to my father, but I'm not going. She would be lonely.
I would not suggest leaving in such hostile company anyhow, Amalia. Look how they act.
That's not really a cat, is it?
Of course she's a cat. She just talks, that's all.
Talking is simple enough, once you know how.
Right. What are you really?
I am a cat, really. Nothing you say will convince Amalia to go with you. She loves only me now. I am her friend, while you are just a stranger.
A stranger who finds you very interesting.
Oh, did you hear that, Amalia? I have another admirer.
That's because you're wonderful, Kitty.
I have been bound to this chamber for decades, cut off from all contact. It has been maddening. Release me, mortal, and let me have the girl. Let us return to her father and leave this place forever.
I don't make deals with your kind.
No, Kitty!
You will not take the child from me. She shall be mine forever.
That's no good. Why do the children always get possessed? Well, that could have maybe gone better. Perhaps if I were not quite as hostile, Kitty wouldn't have, immediately possessed the girl. But, what can you do? Now, what's up with this thing? Yeah, Zevran, get out of there. Seriously, though, what is up with this thing? Is this like... Oh, I can't remember. Would I have been able to do this puzzle if I'd chosen a different dialogue option? Maybe. Because it doesn't look like I can do anything with it now. Well, suppose we go back and tell the dude his daughter's dead. Oh, hello.
What happened to her? Is she in there? Why hasn't she come back?
I'm sorry, Matthias. She's dead.
She's... dead. Oh, my poor butterfly. Thank you for finding her, at least. I'm grateful. The phrase to activate Shayle is Dulan Han, if you still want that bloody thing. I wouldn't if I were you. Now I guess I'll go.
That's suitably depressing. But I guess we get a golem now. All right. Let's try out the new passphrase. Dulin Harn.
I knew that the day would come when someone would find the control rod. And not even a mage this time. Probably stumbled across the rod by accident, I suppose. Typical.
Hello to you too.
I stood here in this spot and watched the wretched little villagers scurry around me for, oh, I have no idea how long. Many, many years.
And the villagers had no idea they were being watched. Creepy.
Then one wonders that you wouldn't be grateful to the one who allowed you to stretch your legs, Golem.
Another mage, I see. Charming. I was just beginning to get used to the quiet, too. Tell me, are all the villagers dead?
Not all of them, no.
Some got away, then. How unfortunate.
Do you have a name?
Perhaps. I may have forgotten after all the years of being called Golem. Golem, fetch me that chair. Do be a good Golem and squash that insipid bandit. And let's not forget, Golem, pick me up. I tire of walking. It does have the control rod, doesn't it? I am awake, so it must.
It certainly does, right in its hand.
I see the control rod, yet I feel... Go on, order me to do something.
You all right? Walk over there.
And, nothing. I feel nothing. I feel no compulsion to carry out its command. I suppose this means the rod is... broken?
So, what now? Go on a killing rampage?
Don't be ridiculous. Well, I wouldn't mind killing the birds. Those evil birds and their foul droppings. I could crush them all. I suppose if I can't be commanded, this means I have free will, yes? It is simply, what should I do? I have no memories beyond watching this village for so long. I have no purpose. I find myself at a bit of a loss. What about it? It must have awoken me for some reason, no? What did it intend to do with me?
I can think of many uses for a personal golem.
May I ask what sorts of things it gets up to for which I could be so potentially useful?
Killing Darkspawn, primarily.
The Darkspawn are an evil that must be destroyed, it's true. Though not as evil as the birds. Damnable feathered fiends. I suppose I have two options, do I not? Go with it or go elsewhere? I do not even know what lies beyond this village.
What do you want to do?
I watched this village for so long, unable to move or act. My memories of anything before are vague at best. So I have no idea what I want to do. I'm glad to be mobile. Is that not enough?
Are you going to keep calling me it?
Yes, very likely.
You killed your former master.
Did I? I remember that I had a former master. The mage with the furry brows who poked and prodded and barked orders. Did I kill him? I hope I did kill him. Perhaps the last order he barked was, Golem, stop crushing my head. Ah!
I notice you don't call him it.
Yes, I'm just funny that way.
And how do I know you can be trusted?
I have no idea. How does it trust anything else without a control rod?
Good point.
They haven't killed it yet. I consider this a good sign.
You're welcome to come with me.
Are you certain you want to bring that thing with us? It could be dangerous and large.
Think of it as a portable battering ram.
Good point. Better it than me, anyhow.
I will follow it about then. For now. I am called Shayle, by the way.
I'm Melissa. Pleased to meet you.
This should be interesting.
Cool. We're not going to put Shayle in our party immediately, I don't think.
Braska. Yes.
Or will we? No, I think we will. We'll get
Braska.
Zevran out
Yes.
and take Shayle. Morgan can level up and so can I. Great. Okay. Last rank of lockpicking. Excellent. And for Morgan, let's go Stone Fist. I'm sure we have some stuff for Shayle. Ah, yes. Now, what kind of damage do I want Shayle to do? Well, they have a slightly better spirit crystal than anything, so we'll go with that to start with. And we'll go fire resist, I believe. Oh, we got a ring. That's nice for me. Strength, dex, and attack. Okay.
Let's get on with
get
it
outta
then.
here. I was about to say the same thing. That is some serious hatred for birds. You know what? I think we're gonna go to Denerim and start doing some of the stuff there.
Don't look now. Trap. So
Lots of traps. I'm gonna try to get rid of those if I can before too many people run into them.
so fancy. Huh. You cannot win.
Let's keep Alistair alive, please.
Point me.
Oh, that did pretty well. Get all the XP from these traps. Okay, that looks like all the traps. Let's continue on. And we're in Denerim, which I'm sure they're going to be absolutely overjoyed to see a golem wandering around.
I understand the Swamp Witch is out to slay its own mother.
Entirely in self-defense.
So it claims. It could not have been its plan from the very beginning, then.
I knew nothing about my mother's intentions prior to finding the book. 'Twas your notion I arranged that.
Unnecessary, considering it is the only one who can read the book. It could just as well be a journal or a book of recipes.
Would you like me to teach you how to read the book? Then you can see for yourself.
Now it is testing me.
Well, do you care enough to learn or no?
No, I do not care.
Then leave me be.
Well, that's going to be interesting with them getting testy at each other. Who are you?
Good day.
Can't say anything to you yet. You must be for a quest later. I believe that's where we have to go with Liliana, so we won't go there yet. Here's
All
the chantry.
men are the work of our Maker's hands, from the lowest slaves to the highest kings. Those who bring ham without provocation to the least of his children are breaded and accursed by the Maker.
Those who bring ham? And the Maker does not bread sinners.
Oh, would you stop correcting me? I know the chant like the back of my hand. The one who repents, who has faith unshaken by the darkness of the world, and roasts not, nor gloats over the misfortunes of the weak, but takes delight in the Maker's lore and creations.
Boasts. It's boasts, sister, not roasts.
She shall know the peace of the Maker's benediction. The light shall lead her safely through the paths of this world and into the next.
Peace, sister, peace. She shall know the peace of the Maker's benediction.
The veil holds no uncertainty for her, and she will know no fear of death, for the Maker shall be her beacon and her shield, her foundation and her...
There's no veal in the chant. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you?
I liked her version of the chant better.
Me too. I wonder why nobody ever taught me her version of the chant when I was a Templar.
Oh. Hello, dear. Can we help you?
What she means is, in Andraste's name, be welcome.
Stop correcting me! What would Andraste do? That's what you should be concerned with, I say. Andraste was no fuss budget.
What are you doing?
Praying for the good people of Denerim who've lost loved ones at Ostagar. It's usual to recite a stanza from Transfigurations when you pray for the departed.
It's usual to recite the stanza correctly.
But that's what I said.
I don't remember the chant having any passages about bacon.
Andraste, deliver us. If her grace were to hear this...
I wouldn't mess up the words if you wouldn't keep interrupting me. Grand Cleric Elomena understands the importance of concentration, you know.
Her grace, may the Maker bless her heart, lost her hearing 20 years ago. If she doesn't catch your blasphemous mistakes, it's because she didn't hear them.
Can you tell me about the chant?
Tell you about the chant? What? As if it's a cake you might buy? Well, it's done enough, but a little too much nutmeg for my taste.
Sister, instructing the ignorant is a sacred duty of the chantry.
Fine, then. What you want to know?
What was that verse you were reciting just now?
It's the 10th stanza from the Transfigurations. Lovely canticle, that one. Oh, you should have heard Brother Caedmon sing it, though.
He sang it well, I take it.
He had a voice like a bucket full of toads. Revered Mother Boanne, bless her heart, always said, if we had more voices like his, the Maker couldn't fail to take note of us.
What happened to him?
It was tragic, really. Such a surprise.
We don't speak of that.
He died?
He was in charge of the lyrium storehouse. It wasn't good for him, you see. He took off all his clothes in the middle of the chant one summer day and ran into the street. He tripped and fell into the vat of elderberry wine for the feast and drowned. We were 6 days drying him out for his cremation. He looked like a pickled egg. So tragic.
Jesus Christ. What does the chant say about Darkspawn?
Oh, there are some very stirring canticles about doom and wrath.
Darkspawn were created by mankind's second sin, pride. Arrogance became a great caged beast in the lands of Tevinter, an emptiness that consumed all and could never be filled. To satisfy its hunger, the mage lords assaulted the Golden City, heart of all creation, to take the Maker's power for themselves.
Why does no one ever sing the good stanzas during chantry services anymore? They speak them. It's called the chant of light, not the speech of light.
Sister, would you kindly stop messing up the chant?
See how you like being interrupted.
Well, you get the general idea, I'm sure.
All right.
It is almost mealtime, isn't it?
Blessings of the Maker and of Andraste, his bride, upon you.
All men are the work of our Maker's hands, from the lowest slaves to the highest kings.
Turn some stuff in, I guess.
Blessed are the peacekeepers, champions of the just.
No time for chat, dear. It's mealtime.
Sister, that's hardly polite.
It's true, though, isn't it? Doesn't the chant say, you may not lie, for there is only one truth?
I should leave you to your work, especially because I wasn't talking to you anyways.
Blessings of the Maker and of Andraste, his bride, upon you.
Magic exists to
Great.
serve man and never to rule over him. Foul and
Anything on the Chanter's board? Yes. Gotta kill some criminals in the alleys of Denerim. Okay. Okay, we're looking for Rexel, who survived Ostagar? Okay. Dude looks for his sextant. And something's going on with Logain's troops. Okay.
are they who have taken his gift and turned it against his children.
In the name of Andraste, bride of the Maker, be welcome in this house. While the cathedral is closed, if you need to make wedding or funeral arrangements, you'll have to talk to Sister Olma.
Did someone die? I remember a funeral.
King Kalen died, remember? Along with most of the army at Ostagar? Maker guide them all.
Why is the cathedral closed?
That which you fear, living in the shadow of death alone, I have seen it is only a cloud passing before the sun.
The death toll at Ostagar was staggering. We've had a funeral every day for a lost son or daughter of Denerim, and we've many more yet to hold.
What's wrong with your friend?
Are they singing the chant now? It's a funeral, isn't it?
He should have retired to Val Royeaux years ago, but he wanted to stay and serve the remainder of his days in his homeland. It's the lyrium that does this.
Lyrium did this to him. Why doesn't he stop taking it?
He wouldn't be a Templar anymore.
Blessed are they who stand before the corrupt and the wicked and do not falter.
He doesn't forget who he is, even if he can't remember anything else.
That's very depressing. I'll see you later.
May the light of the Maker guide your steps.
I was getting to that part.
Strange that matters can be so tumultuous and yet the day still be so bright. Oh, my pardon. Just thinking aloud. Are you here for the Chanter's Board?
How did you know?
Well-armed individuals that visit the rectory tend to be here for that. Chanter Rosamond is tireless and resolute in her duties. I'm sure you can find something of interest on her board.
Who are you?
I am Sister Justine, curator of the reliquary of this chantry. And pride again. It is hard to live up to the example of Andraste.
What are you so proud of?
I have always been fascinated with history. What better place to indulge that than the birthplace of the Maker's prophet? To be the curator of this chantry and to be so young. I fight a battle with pride, and hopefully the Maker can forgive my occasional defeat.
What's a curator do?
The archivist tends the books, and I tend the sacred relics. I also search for more to add to our collection, which is more difficult than it sounds.
What's so hard about that?
A hawker on the street will claim to have an actual finger bone of Andraste. In this city alone, you could make the skeleton of 10 prophets from fingers alone. Curators often accept them as genuine. I worry about the authenticity of even our most holy artifacts.
How difficult is it to verify a relic?
When I was a curator of a much smaller chantry in Orlais, I thought that false relics slipped through because of laziness. But the life of the cloth is never an easy one, and that explanation always seemed hollow to me. Now I believe it's the seduction of the divine. We all want a personal connection to the Maker. We want to believe that what we hold in our hands is the actual sandal that slipped from Andraste's foot before the fires consumed her. Faith is of the heart, not of the head. When the heart is ungoverned by reason, charlatans have powerful tools to deceive.
Balancing faith and reason is difficult, though.
And often close to heretical. But I believe that the truth only increases the awe of the Maker and his prophet, not demean it. Even false symbols have the power to inspire. but it seems every year we fall more out of touch with the real Andraste.
How many real relics have you found?
Well, there's one that might be real. I couldn't prove it wasn't. Perhaps you can understand my skepticism. So many claims, so few truths.
Do you think the Urn of Sacred Ashes is real?
Certainly. My research indicates that all of the ashes were gathered into a pot or urn, but it's been lost for centuries. That doesn't stop hawkers from selling pinches of the ashes of Andraste to gullible pilgrims. The real ashes may still be hidden somewhere, though it's possible the urn broke.
Let's see if this is just circling around or not. Could you tell me about your job?
You've shown admirable patience listening to my diatribe before. I will not bore you again. Suffice it to say, I look for and authenticate holy relics for the Chantry.
Fair enough. I've got to go. Farewell.
Of course. Enjoy your visit to the Chantry.
Magic exists.
Oh. Wait. Where are you going?
Puppy!
Maker, where did you get that? No, you can't keep him.
They shall be named Maleficar, accursed ones.
Ouch.
They shall find no rest in this world or beyond.
We do not take care of children. We just, deal with their possession. Oh, Mage Collective.
A little something extra. For friendship.
Thanks. What you got in your bag? Okay, mark some doors around town. Get 10 lyrium potions and give them to a Templar. Find a mage. The Scrolls of Banastor. I think we have some of those already. I think we've got at least one. I'm pretty sure one was in the tower. Who are you? Why are you interacting?
Leave me to my business.
All right. Not you.
You here to report another crime? I swear we should just cordon off the entire district. Oh, can I help you, Warden?
How do you know who I am?
Your likeness was passed around to the senior guardsman at the palace. I must say, the sketch didn't do you much justice. Don't worry. Even if I believed the official story of what happened at Ostagar, I'm no fool. If I asked my men to apprehend you, they'd all run and cry big sobby tears in their courtesans' bosoms and leave me all alone to be skewered. Don't disturb the peace in the market, and that's well enough for me.
Is the market district really that bad?
The lower market isn't deemed important by the captain of the guard, even less with Al Howe in charge. So when I finally get the new men I request, I get the delightful surprise of discovering their Lord Such-and-Such's illegitimate, untrained, moronic whelps. But lords keep sending me more of them. It's decent pay, no expectations, a uniform. So I have a legion of bastards to protect the market from pickpockets, stabbings, and whatnot, and Al Howe's specially picked men are the worst of the lot.
The Arl and I have a rich history. Tell me about his men.
With the bastards, I just have to worry about dicing, the odd bit of drool, or yelling at them too loudly and hurting their poor feelings, and then getting chewed out by their noble fathers. But I swear, the Arl's men are more criminal than the miscreants we occasionally arrest. Some of them are the criminals we have to arrest. So if your lifeblood isn't draining in the gutters as we speak, don't bother reporting it.
Actually, do you need any help?
What? You're serious? I mean, yes, I could use help. I've got a pretty popular establishment that's crawling with mercenaries. If I send my boys in, someone might get, maker forbid, hurt, and I'll have to explain to their noble fathers that being a guard is actually dangerous.
What do you need me to do?
The name of the whorehouse is the Pearl. Beat down any mercenaries that are out of line and send them a message. I said beat down, not kill. Let me make that really clear. Not on fire, or exploded, or make a nose, whatever type of grisly death you can dream up. Sorry. Used to giving orders to my boys. Just leave them breathing and I'll be happy.
Sign me up, Sergeant.
Thank you, Warden. Happy hunting.
Wade's Emporium. Oh, and Goldana's house. Let's do that for Alistair.
That's my sister's house. I'm almost sure of it. Yes, this is the right address. She could be inside. Could we go and see?
Yes, let's do that.
Will she even know who I am? Does she even know I exist? My sister. That sounds very strange. Sister. Oh, now I'm babbling. Maybe we should go. Let's go. Let's just go.
See, he's just so earnest and adorable. And he makes terrible jokes. How can you resist this man?
Hello?
Hey, you have linens to wash? I charge 3 bits on a bundle. You won't find better. And don't trust what that Natalia woman tells you either. She's foreign and she'll rob you blind.
I'm not here to have any wash done. My name's Alistair. Well, this may sound sort of strange, but are you Goldana? If so, I suppose I'm your brother.
My what? I am Goldana, yes. How do you know my name? What kind of tomfoolery are you folk up to?
He's telling the truth. Listen to him.
Look, our mother, she worked as a servant in Redcliffe Castle a long time ago before she died. Do you know about that?
You! I knew it! They told me you was dead. They told me the babe was dead along with mother, but I knew they was lying.
They told you I was dead? Who? Who told you that?
Them's at the castle. I told them the babe was the king's and they said he was dead. Gave me a coin to shut my mouth and sent me on my way. I knew it.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. The babe didn't die. I'm him. I'm your brother.
For all the good it does me. You killed mother, you did, and I've had to scrape by all this time. That coin didn't last long, and when I went back, they ran me off.
That's hardly Alistair's fault, is it?
And who in the maker's name are you? Some tart, following after his riches, I expect.
Hey, don't speak to her that way. She's my friend and a Grey Warden, just like me.
Oh, I see. A prince and a Grey Warden too. Well, who am I to think poorly of someone so high and mighty compared to me? I don't know you, boy. Your royal father forced himself on my mother and took her away from me. And what do I got to show for it? Nothing. They tricked me good. I should have told everyone. I got 5 mouths to feed. And unless you can help with that, I got less than no use for you.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Goldana, Alistair came here hoping to find his family.
Well, he found it. And what good is that to me? None, that's what. Unless he can see to it that his family lives as it should.
I suppose maybe I could give her some money from my nieces and nephews. 15 sovereigns, maybe? Would you let me give her that?
Yes, go ahead if you like.
Then here, Goldana, take this money. I know it's not much, but...
You, a prince, marching in here with your fancy armor and such, and this is all you got to offer? You must think I'm very stupid.
No, wait, I don't think that at all. I want to help, if I can.
You want to help? You go to whatever high and mighty folks you run with, and you tell them you've got nephews and nieces that aren't living as they've a right to. You do that.
Let's go, Alistair. There's nothing for you here.
You're right. I don't know why I came.
I don't know why you came either, or what you expected to find. But it isn't here. Now get out of my house, the both of you.
Let's leave. Now.
I agree. Let's get out of here. Well, that was not what I expected, to put it lightly. I'm sorry I gave her any money at all. This is the family I've been wondering about all my life? That gold-digging harridan? I can't believe it. I guess I was expecting her to accept me without question. Isn't that what family is supposed to do? I feel like a complete idiot.
Now, if I remember right, this is the critical decision. I am actually going to look this up because you can make decisions here that will affect, like, how Alistair looks at the world in the future. I think I want to go with option number 2, but let me make sure. Okay, yep. We need to tell him everyone is out for themselves. He'll start, actually sticking up for himself, and there'll be a conversation later that will make it official. Everyone is out for themselves. You should learn that.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I should. Let's just go. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I kind of hate that you have to do this to Alistair because he's just so sweet, but it's the world we live in.
Turn your attention elsewhere. My business does not concern you.
I have something you might be interested in.
I doubt that. Yes, you're right. This is very interesting. I'll take this note from you, and I'll confiscate this lyrium as evidence. You have done a great thing here, friend. Those rogue mages' days are numbered.
I don't know that I really meant to do that, because I can't remember what quest that was. But I've done it now. Mark some doors. Looks like there's another one over here. Okay. There's 2 of those done.
Huh.
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Direct from Orzammar. You won't find better. Welcome, welcome. We sell only the strongest dwarven steel, folded over 100 times in the forges of Orzammar. In times like this, surely your group could use some extra protection on the road.
I'd rather buy information, if you've got any to sell.
I'll answer what I can, but my policy is not to sell things that don't belong to me.
What's happening in the city right now?
The Landsmeet's the big news. Every dusty noble estate in Denerim is airing its sheets, waiting for the Lord to ride into town.
Who are some important people in Denerim?
It's the capital of Ferelden, so naturally the Queen and Regent are at the top. But the man who seems to be running the city guard is the new Arl Rendon Howe. Came in from somewhere up north.
Alright, let's see what's in your store.
Every piece comes with a stamp of assurance from my wife's father, the best smith in Denerim.
Okay. First things first, do you have any backpacks? No, you do not. Then you are useless to me.
I recognize you. From Ostagar. Andraste's blood. You're a Grey Warden. Duncan's apprentice. You killed my friend. And good King Caelan. I demand satisfaction, sir.
Logain's charges against the Wardens are false.
So you would compound slander on top of treason? You dare smear Terran Logain's word?
Use your wits. The Wardens would never help the Darkspawn.
I do not like your tone, sir. But you may be right. I may regret this, but I cannot duel someone who may be guiltless. Leave, Warden. If I find proof, we will meet again.
All right, then. Well... Oh, Genetivi's home and the tavern. I think we will have to save those for next time, though, because we are just about at time. Let's see what we've got in the Codex. The Legend of Calenhad, Chapter 2. With the allegiance of Arl Merlin, Calenhad began his rise to greatness. Some of Merlin's allies also pledged allegiance, but most thought him foolhardy. A boy commoner was to lead them and become king? Over the years that followed, however, Calenhad would prove himself worthy of Merlin's trust. With each victory, he won over more men to his command, and his reputation as a man of honor spread. Eventually, during his campaign against the lowland Banorn, he met his most infamous friend and companion, the vaunted warrior Lady Shayle. Calenhad married the famously beautiful daughter of Merlin, Meirin, and his firm belief in the ways of the Chantry became the staple of his court. In a time when the Chantry was still new to the lands, and courts following Andraste held the majority of the power in Ferelden, Calenhad began to solidify the nation as one in line with the other nations around it. This piety eventually won over to Calenhad those faithful in Ferelden who had been waiting for such a leader. With Lady Shayle at his side, Calenhad was unstoppable, and by 542 Exalted, the war for Ferelden had come down to one final battle against the collective forces of Simeon, Teyrn of Denerim, and the most potent nobleman in the land. Calenhad persuaded the Circle of Magi to come to his aid, as well as the Ash Warriors, and in the Battle of White Valley, he famously defeated Teyrn Simeon and united the nation. During the battle, Simeon nearly killed Calenhad, but Lady Shayle intervened and took the wound for him, slaying Simeon. Calenhad was crowned king in Denerim that year, with Meirin his queen, but he spent much of the months that followed nursing Lady Shayle back to health. King Calenhad's Ferelden was peaceful for a time, with the Chantry spreading quickly under the king's guidance. Everywhere the king and queen went, they were surrounded by cheering crowds. The common folk celebrated Calenhad as one of their own who had achieved the impossible, and trade opened up with many outside lands for the first time in Ferelden's existence. But, as with many such golden ages, it was not to last. From the Legend of Calenhad by Brother Heron, Chantry Scribe, 810 Blessed. The Journal of Enchanter Wilhelm. 13 Plutanus. The interrogation of the demon is going well, and is rather fascinating, provided that what it's saying is true. I have sent all my research so far to First Enchanter Arden, and while he is concerned about my safety, he does not think there is a reason to stop just yet. All I hope is that the Templars do not discover what I am doing. How will we ever find another way to deal with demonic possession if the Chantry does not let us research it? 20 Alluviesta. Young Matthias nearly wandered down here again today, and this time I forgot to leave the barrier up. I believe I will key the defenses to ignore any one of my blood. I would rather have the boy stumble into the laboratory than have him killed by my forgetfulness. Poor lad, all he wants is to know why his father spends so much time beneath the tower. I will spend more time with him soon, I swear it. 28 Alluviesta. Shayle is acting strangely. I wonder if I should discontinue my experiments upon it? I am so near a breakthrough, I am certain. Perhaps it is best if I focus on the demon. 2 Matronalis. The demon almost managed to get away again. Tricky. I shall have to be more careful. Young Eamon sent a letter asking me to return to Redcliffe. I shall have to consider it soon. 11 Matronalis. Could it be? What an intriguing discovery, especially considering that the demon was attempting to keep me from it at all costs. Or did it lead me to that information by seeming to deny it from me? I must discover the truth. 19 Umbralia. I think it is time to dismiss this demon. It is too dangerous for me to continue holding it, and I cannot discount the possibility that it is having some influence over the Golem. Or is it my experiments? I will try to deactivate Shayle for the time being, and then deal with the demon once and for all. Let it end here. There are no further entries. From the Journal of Enchanter Wilhelm Sulzbacher. Oh, let's read about Connor Garin. I feel like I'm sleeping, but I guess I'm not. While most of the bands in Arles of Ferelden cart their children with them to the Landsmeet in the interest of eventually marrying them off, Connor has spent his entire life at Redcliffe. And it's hardly surprising. The child possessed the gift of magic. By law, he should have been taken to the Circle of Magi at the first sign, abdicating his claim to Redcliffe. Instead, the boy was kept out of public view and his magic hushed up, with disastrous results. All mages are beacons that attract the attention of feyed spirits. Because of this, they are trained and tested by the Circle to ensure that they can withstand attacks from malevolent Fade creatures that seek entry into the waking world. Untrained Connor drew the attention of a powerful demon that tore the veil asunder. With aid from the Circle, he was freed from the demon's power. Connor will be sent to the Circle Tower, where he will no longer pose a danger to the innocent. Knight Commander Gregor. It is the innocent folk of Ferelden who matter. I would lay down my life and the life of any mage to protect them. Grim and taciturn, Gregor has been Knight Commander of the Templar forces stationed at the Circle Tower for so many years that hardly anyone except the First Enchanter recalls that he is not simply part of the tower itself. And I think we'll end it with First Enchanter Irving. The Circle will go on, and we will learn from this tragedy and be strengthened by it. There is no higher office in a Circle Tower than that of First Enchanter. The one who holds this title must not only be an able administrator, but also a mentor, leader, and surrogate parent to all the mages of the tower. Irving has proven himself to be all these things with an added dose of cunning. Most apprentices know that little goes on in the tower that Irving does not know. He can soothe Templars angered by some childish magical prank at the same time that he lauds the pranksters, and everyone walks away satisfied. Although much of the Circle was destroyed by Uldred's abominations, Irving survived and plans to rebuild what he can. That will be it for today. I hope to see you next time. We'll continue exploring a little bit of this first area of Denerim, and then we've got to choose. Are we going to go for the elves or the dwarves? See you next time.